Today, we're going to learn about writing your opinion. That is, writing about what you think. This writing style lets you clearly share what you believe or feel about a topic and back up your ideas with strong reasons. So you might be asking, what is an opinion? An opinion is what you think or what you feel. It is your personal view. When it comes to opinion writing, you're writing your opinion. You state your view, and then you can give reasons, facts, or examples to show why you believe it. For this, the key idea, it's personal. It's not a news report. This is about your own belief. For example, I believe recess should be longer because it helps me feel happy and ready to learn. That could be someone's personal opinion, and it gives a reason for why. Do you think recess should be longer? Give me a thumbs up for yes and a thumbs down for no. A strong opinion paper is going to have 3 main parts: the introduction, the supporting details, and the conclusion. For the introduction, that's when you state your opinion clearly in one sentence. For example, your opinion might be, I think school lunches should be healthier. Next is our supporting details. This is when we're going to give those reasons and facts. For example, for the healthy lunch one, your supporting details might be, healthy lunches give us energy. Also, they help us concentrate better. And the third part, the conclusion, that's when you sum up or finish your opinion by stating your reasons again briefly. For a healthy lunch one, our conclusion might be, for these reasons, healthier lunches will help all students. Now, the other part that we have to watch for when we're writing an opinion piece is we want to use connecting words. Connecting words are sometimes called transitional words. These words are going to help you link your ideas, kind of like linking one puzzle piece to another. They're what let those pieces connect. Some of these words could be things like because, also, in addition, therefore. Here's an example of using those words. I like art because it is relaxing. In addition, it makes me creative. So in that sentence, there are 2 sets of transitional words. Because, and the other one is in addition. Make sure to watch for those types of words and try using them yourself too. Now, let's get down to how to actually write your opinion piece. The first step, that is the step that's generally the most fun. Choosing a topic. For this, you can a lot of times pick something you feel strongly about. Maybe about a favorite class, a school rule, a community issue, or maybe something about food. Next, you need to find reasons. You're going to write your opinion. You're going to state in one sentence your view clearly. I believe art class is the most important subject because, and that's where you add in those reasons. You want to try and add in 2 or 3 reasons if you can. Some examples for our art class being important could be art helps me relax or art helps me learn new things. Next, organize. sometimes it can really help to make a simple outline. That's where you have the introduction, body, and conclusion. For that, sometimes you can use a chart or a table or a drawing to help you organize. Next, try and use good, strong words, descriptive words, like adjectives and adverbs. For example, instead of saying nice art, you could say vibrant art. Or, you remember we've talked about similes before, you can use a simile to make a comparison. The art room is as fun as a carnival. And lastly, revise and edit. This is the last thing you want to do. This is where you read over what you wrote and you're going to check. Did you spell everything correctly? Did you start with a capital letter at the beginning of your sentence? Do you have punctuation that you should? Do your sentences end with a period or an exclamation point or sometimes a question mark? If you're not sure about how something is spelled, you can always try using a dictionary to look it up. You could use a physical dictionary, like a book dictionary, or you could also look up the word online through an online dictionary. Let's try going over an example together. Let's focus on our one about art class. So let's pretend we want to write about why the art period should be longer. First, we have to state what our opinion is. In this case, it would be, I believe our art period should be longer. Now, we have to give a reason for it. Our first reason could be something like, art helps me feel calm and creative. And then let's add some more detail to that. Something like, being creative helps me learn better in all my classes. Reason number 2, a longer period gives me time to learn new techniques, ways to do something. Now our detail for this one could be, I could learn how to mix colors better or try painting with oil pastels. And then we wrap it all up with a conclusion. Remember, our conclusion is kind of like putting a bow on top. It's the finishing touches. So for this one, it could be, for these reasons, I feel strongly that more time for art will make school better for every student. Do you think more art time could make school better for you? Give me a thumbs up if you think yes, and a thumbs down if you think no. All right, there's a couple quick tips for success when writing an opinion piece. 1, always start with a clear opinion first. 2, outline your writing before you start writing. Full sentences so your ideas can flow together smoothly. 3, review your writing to make sure your reasons are clear and convincing. That if you were trying to convince someone else that your opinion is correct or to do what you want, that they'll be able to understand and maybe they'll even want to do what you're telling them to or asking them to. Now, when we're trying to come up with our opinion piece, one of the things that we know is a part of our steps is coming up with an outline or a plan. So before you actually write, you need to create your own plan. Brainstorming is one method. When you brainstorm, you come up with all your ideas about a topic. You don't have to use them all, but it helps to have a long list. And when you're brainstorming, you don't have to write in full sentences. You can just do a couple words here and there to put out a thought. It doesn't have to be a full sentence. For example, let's say we're writing about why ice cream should be served for lunch. At the very top of your paper, you'd write, ice cream should be served for lunch. Then you try and come up with your reasons. Maybe something like, tastes yummy, makes me happy, easy to eat. Now you can see those reasons, none of them are full sentences. When you move on to writing your full opinion, you'll need to make them into sentences. But for your outline, you don't need full sentences. So, one of the things you can ask yourself when you're trying to come up with those reasons would be, why? Why do I believe this? And in your list, you're just writing down any reason you can think of. Then you're going to try and choose 2 or 3 that you think are the best reasons, and those are the ones you'll use when you actually write your opinion piece. And then the conclusion. For this, you can write the conclusion on your conclusion on the brainstorm, or you can wait on that until you get to actually writing it. The big idea is having all your thoughts in front of you. So now it's your turn to create an outline. Let's take a look at this one. The very first part says my topic. So I want you to try and come up with your own topic that you have an opinion on. When you're ready, go ahead and write it down. If you're struggling to come up with an opinion, ones about school are always great. Maybe pick your favorite class, and maybe you think there should be more time for that class. Or maybe you have a sport or an activity that you really like that you think there should be time for it during school. Or you can pick something a little more silly, like maybe you think you should be allowed to have dessert for lunch or ice cream for dinner. It doesn't have to be something serious. It just has to be your own opinion. So now that you have your topic and your introduction, it's time to move on to the body. You need to come up with 3 reasons that you should be able to do, or whatever you're asking for, why that should happen. So you're going to be kind of doing the conclusion. Yep, state your opinion again, and then list at least 1 or 2 reasons why.